Welcome to Leave It on the Court. My name is Corey Randall.
Hi, my name is Moustapha.
Today's topic is comparing the Kobe and Tim Duncan legacy since they both got inducted into Hall of Fame. Just before we start, I would just like to, you know, send out my condolences to the Bryant family. We
Sir.
lost a legend. That was a great hooper. And also congratulations to Bryant family and Kobe himself, as well as Tim Duncan. Congratulations on your induction to the Hall of Fame. But so, what is your side for who you think had the better career?
All right, before I start, I gotta also say, my condolences and my prayers out to the Bryant family. I know they trying their best to get past this, but I know some days can be pretty difficult. But my prayers send out to his mother, his father, his sisters, his wife Gianna, and also the daughters that he left behind. I pray that they figure it out in this lifetime. But
Yeah,
to go, congratulations to them. I know that put a smile on their face. Congratulations to the Bryant family and congratulations to Tim Duncan.
yeah,
Go ahead and rephrase that question again. Repeat that question.
yeah. I'll repeat that question. I forgot to also say, condolences for losing Gigi as well. But yeah. So, who out of Kobe and Tim Duncan, who would you say have the better career in your opinion?
This is something I actually kind of pondered. I would say the better career, if we're looking all around career, I'm gonna go with Tim Duncan. I say Tim Duncan because when you look at it, you look at his team, you look at his accomplishment, how many rings he won. Obviously, him and Kobe have a lot of similarities as far as like the amount of rings they won and some of the stuff that they done. Being on first team, all second team defense, they have those similarities. But Tim Duncan, for the most part of his career with the Spurs, he's been the dominant force. He's been the main guy for a vast majority of the time he was there.
Mm,
With Kobe, there was a lot of the Kobe and Shaq dynamic. Then he had to prove for a good amount of his years in the NBA or with the Lakers that he was the guy that can do it without Shaq. Because I remember when they won it, they're like, all right, he won it with Shaq, but can he win it without Shaq? So he had to kind of like fight and show the world and tell the world that I can do it. And when he came in as a rookie, his first couple first year, it was pretty rough for him. It wasn't as smooth as a transition. He just came from high school and he skipped college, and it was pretty tough for him. So, however, Tim Duncan was, all first team, won Rookie of the Year. I think they won a championship. I think before Duncan or when Duncan was there. I think that time David Robinson was the guy there, if I'm not mistaken.
mm,
But for the most part of Tim Duncan's career, he was the guy, the main guy for the Spurs. Obviously they had a really good team for a lot of those years. So they were pretty consistent throughout his tenure. With Kobe, some of those years were pretty rough. Towards the end and maybe even before, like he started winning those rings without Shaq. He had some tough years because for some reason that Laker organization didn't always bring in the best talent, for to surround Kobe with
mm,
per se. So
yeah.
what do you think about it? What is your take?
My take, man, they both had great careers. I think you'll have a lot of people who will say, I think a lot of people will say Kobe. I think that's because you're going to have more Lakers fans around the world than you do Spurs fans. Uh, and I also think when it comes to comparisons of players, a lot of people are going to side more with guards and big men because guards are typically flashier and are more like dynamic in a certain way as far as visually. But yeah, they both got the same amount of rings. They're Tim Duncan's 5 of 6, and what's his name? Kobe is 5 of 7. But Tim Duncan, has played in the league for 19 years and never missed the playoffs.
Mm-hmm.
Kobe's missed the playoffs 4 times, but I won't even count 3 of them because the 3 that he didn't make, they were that was after he tore his Achilles.
Mm-hmm.
But he did miss one like in the 04-05 season, I believe, and that was the season just after they lost to Pistons. And I just think you know with the Spurs they had David Robinson before, and I don't think they won anything because he was just drafted like a year or two before. And when Tim Duncan was playing, it was only Greg Popovich's like second season. So Greg Popovich didn't have much pro experience as a coach or anything, and it was really Tim Duncan who took over to lead to Greg Popovich's success and for Dave Robinson's success. Difference with Kobe's coming to a franchise that's already successful. Being on the Lakers, and then you have a coach in Phil Jackson who already won 6 championships, so he already has the experience to implement the offense. Who knows how to be a successful player. But yeah, I'd have to go with Tim Duncan on this one.
Mm. Yeah, I could agree. The only thing I will clarify though, I really do feel Kobe is still the better player. And it's not just because he's a guard, but because of how he ascended. He may have started off as a rookie, but trust me, a lot of people don't remember that because of what he accomplished and what he done. The only thing is I really have to look at those years where it was tough for him to get there, and he didn't always have the team that he wanted. There was even a year that he elected to be traded, and that was that year when they made the change and they had Paul Gasol come in because they noticed he needed help. He needed someone that was an all-star or a star player. He needed a second guy that was a go-to option. You know, he was tired. He was tired of just playing with I guess people who played their roles well, but just couldn't get it done as far as going to the highest level.
Mhm.
Even with the offense that Phil Jackson implemented with the triangle during that time period.
Right.
You know.
And I also think what's impressive too about Tim Duncan is being able to make an all defensive team, and an all NBA team period, like at the age of 39, like that's crazy to me, especially as like a big man, being able to be that durable and last that long. But I remember Kobe said, I don't know if it was I think it was on All the Smoke. He'd said like in January, he's like, um, he said that if it wasn't for Spurs, Lakers would have won 10 championships in a row. But for me, it's like if you lost to the Pistons, starless Pistons, then how are you gonna? Crazy is that in those playoffs, the Lakers beat the Spurs. So you beat the Spurs there, and then you lost the Pistons. So how would you have won 10 championships in a row? But anyway, um, that shows like the dominance to me of the Spurs era, and obviously led by Tim Duncan. Also, the crazy thing about Tim Duncan too is just as a superstar, he's just so selfless. Like he's such a team player. He could get along with anybody. Didn't have egos, and I feel like he could just go out and dominate in silence and all that stuff would just help propel like how he just was as a player on the court as well.
Yeah, I agree. He had a major impact, but yeah, when it came down to making a decision as far as that, I had to pick Tim Duncan because of just what he meant to his team
Mm-hmm.
overall, even with all the good players that he played with. You
Mm-hmm.
know, I'm pretty sure he's not gonna be the only Hall of Famer coming out of the Spurs, organization.
Mm-hmm.
So I
And
mean that says a lot.
the other thing too is when you think of Spurs, you think Tim Duncan. When you think of
Hmm.
Lakers, some people are thinking of Kobe, but like you think of so many people because they've had so many legends. You think of
Yeah,
Shaq, you think of Magic,
Magic.
you think of all these people, but it's like with no Tim Duncan, you probably wouldn't have. Nobody's probably would have cared about Spurs at all, to be honest.
Yeah, he really he was like a Tom Brady to a Belichick.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah,
They remind me of that too. Belichick and Popovich, they
uh,
get these guys you never heard of and turn them into something. So yeah. That wraps up this segment. Um, yeah.
All right. See you guys on the next one.